Welcome class 11th. In our previous discussion, I had discussed about covalent bonding and I had explained about classical concept of covalent bonding, which is also called as Lewis-Longmuir concept. And by the time we have this idea in our mind, whatsoever we have in our mind is because of that concept. If I simply ask you that what is the meaning of covalent bond, then you say a chemical bond which is formed by mutual sharing of electron between two similar or two different atoms. And this sharing of electrons results in the combination of atoms to form molecules. Now, although this concept explains most of the things, yet there are few questions remained unanswered. First, we say that sharing of electrons results in the bonding. But why? What happens that formation of bond what happens that sharing of electrons results in the bonding of atoms? This is one very important question. Second, it also does not explain that why only certain combinations are possible. Why only H2 molecule is formed, H3 or H4 is not formed. Next, it also does not explain about specific geometries or specific shapes of molecules which are bonded with the help of a covalent bond. And finally, it also does not explain that why bond formation results in the release of energy. Why bond formation is accompanied by release of energy. So these were some of the common questions that were raised against classical concept of covalent bonding, that how sharing of electrons results in the formation of bond. इलेक्ट्रॉन के शेयर होने पर आखिर ऐसा क्या हो जाता है जिसके कारण दो एटम्स एक दूसरे से जुड़ जाते हैं और वो मॉलिक्यूल के रूप में एक दूसरे के साथ जुड़े रहते हैं? पहला। दूसरा, क्यों कुछ स्पेसिफिक कॉम्बिनेशंस ही पॉसिबल होते हैं? क्यों ऐसा होता है कि सिर्फ H2 मॉलिक्यूल बनता है, H3 नहीं बनता है या H4 नहीं बनता है? तीसरा, क्लासिकल कॉन्सेप्ट कोवैलेंट मॉलिक्यूल्स के स्पेसिफिक शेप्स के बारे में भी या उनकी जियोमेट्रीज के बारे में भी कुछ नहीं बताता है। ये इस बात को एक्सप्लेन नहीं करता है कि क्यों कुछ मॉलिक्यूल्स होते हैं जिनका शेप लीनियर होता है, कुछ ऐसे होते हैं जिनका ट्राइगोनल प्लेनर होता है, क्यों किसी का टेट्राहेड्रल होता है या ऑक्टाहेड्रल जियोमेट्री। ये इन चीज़ों को भी एक्सप्लेन नहीं करता है। प्लस लास्ट पॉइंट, ये इस बात को भी एक्सप्लेन नहीं करता है कि क्यों ऐसा होता है कि बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन में हमेशा एनर्जी रिलीज होती है या बॉन्डेड सिस्टम जो होता है उसकी एनर्जी नॉन बॉन्डेड सिस्टम से कम होती है। तो इस तरीके से हालांकि क्लासिकल कॉन्सेप्ट के द्वारा हम ज़्यादातर चीज़ों को एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, ज़्यादातर चीज़ों के बारे में हम बता सकते हैं, फिर भी बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस ऐसे थे जो अनआंसर्ड थे और उनके लिए हमें दूसरे कॉन्सेप्ट चाहिए थे जो इन लिमिटेशंस को दूर कर सकते या इन क्वेश्चंस को आंसर कर सकते। So in order to explain formation of a covalent bond in terms of modern understanding of atom, two main theories has been proposed. One is called as valence bond theory and other is called as molecular orbital theory. When we read about atomic structure, then therein we read that atom has got particle nature and atom also electrons has got particle nature and electrons also have got wave nature. So both of these theories, they are concerned largely with particle nature and wave nature. Valence bond theory considers electron as particle, while molecular orbital theory considered electron as wave. So these two theories has been proposed to explain the concept of covalent bonding. Now let us discuss them one by one. First I will discuss about valence bond theory. This theory is also called as HLPS theory. HLPS theory. This stands for Hitler, London, Pauling and Slater. So these were the four scientists which were involved in the development of this theory. Hitler, London, Pauling and Slater. They proposed it and they extended and applied the theory to most of the molecules. As far as our class 11th course is concerned, we are largely concerned with the qualitative part of this chapter, this topic. So I discuss only qualitative aspect of it. Before going to the details of valence bond theory, let me explain the energy considerations when any molecule is formed. Now, in order to explain it, let us take hydrogen as an example. In a simple way, we can understand that when two atoms they comes closer to each other for the formation of bond, there is an interaction between nuclei of atom, nuclei of one atom with nuclei of other atom, electron cloud of one atom to the electron cloud of other atom, as well as electron cloud of one atom to the nucleus of another atom and vice versa. So once two atoms they comes closer to each other for the formation of bond, there are attractive forces as well as repulsive forces both operates, and at certain optimal distance net attractive forces overweights net repulsive forces, and at that very distance both atoms are held together and a chemical bond is formed. And at that optimal distance where the net attractive forces overweights net repulsive forces is called as bond length, and at this distance the energy of system is minimum. The energy of system is minimum. एक बार फिर से आप इस बात को समझिए कि जब दो एटम एक दूसरे के क्लोज आते हैं तो हमने पढ़ा कि एटम में एक पॉजिटिवली चार्ज न्यूक्लियस होता है और उसके चारों तरफ एक इलेक्ट्रॉन क्लाउड होता है। दो एटम एक दूसरे के नज़दीक आ रहे हैं और जब ये दोनों एक दूसरे के नज़दीक आते हैं तो इनके इलेक्ट्रॉन क्लाउड्स एक दूसरे को रिपेल करते हैं, इनके पॉजिटिवली चार्ज न्यूक्लियस एक दूसरे को रिपेल करते हैं और इनका नेगेटिवली चार्ज इलेक्ट्रॉन और पॉजिटिवली चार्ज न्यूक्लियस एक दूसरे को अट्रैक्ट करता है। इस तरीके से जब कोई भी दो एटम एक दूसरे के क्लोज आ रहे होते हैं, एक दूसरे से बॉन्ड बनाने के नज़दीक आ रहे होते हैं, तो वहाँ पर अट्रैक्टिव फोर्सेस और रिपल्सिव फोर्सेस दोनों ही ऑपरेट कर रहे होते हैं। और एक ऑप्टिमम डिस्टेंस ऐसी आती है जहाँ पर अट्रैक्टिव फोर्सेस का मैग्नीट्यूड रिपल्सिव फोर्सेस के मैग्नीट्यूड को ओवरवेट कर देता है और दोनों एटम्स एक दूसरे के बन जाते हैं, केमिकल बॉन्ड बन जाता है। और इसी ऑप्टिमल डिस्टेंस पर जो सिस्टम की एनर्जी होती है वो मिनिमम होती है। अगर एटम्स इस ऑप्टिमल डिस्टेंस से और क्लोज आते हैं तो इनके बीच की एनर्जीज बढ़ने लगती हैं, या दूसरे शब्दों में हम ये कहें कि रिपल्सिव फोर्सेस का मैग्नीट्यूड बढ़ने लगता है, सिस्टम अनस्टेबल होने लगता है। इसको हम इस तरह से समझ सकते हैं formation of hydrogen molecule. So hydrogen has got only one proton and one electron, and this is another hydrogen atom and this is another electron. So once these hydrogen atoms are far apart to each other, the energy of system is very high and there is no interaction between either nuclei or electron clouds of these two combining atoms. However, when they are brought closer to each other, an interaction will start. Then this positively charged nucleus repel this positively charged nucleus, so there is force of repulsion, which I represented with the help of R. And this electron, which is negatively charged, this is also negatively charged, they will also repel to each other. On the other hand, this nucleus and this electron, they have attractive force. This electron and this nucleus, they also have got attractive force. This electron and this nucleus has got a force of attraction, and this electron and this nucleus also has got a force of attraction. So once two atoms are brought together, these attractive and these repulsive forces, they keeps on operating. Now when they come closer to each other, there is an optimal distance where net attractive force or net attractive forces, they overweights net repulsive forces, and molecule is formed. And when these atoms, they are present at this optimal distance, energy of system is reduced, or we can say energy of system is least, and energy is released, and a molecule is formed. So these energy considerations can be explained with the help of this graph, wherein potential energy is plotted against internuclear distance. So this is midpoint. Below this energy is negative, above this energy is positive, and in this way energy changes takes place. So when atoms are kept far apart to each other, their energies are more. When they comes closer to each other, the energies decreases, and at a optimal distance, this D naught, energy of system becomes minimum. And at this distance, both combining atoms, they join with each other, a bond is formed, and this distance is called as bond length. And at this distance, energy of system is minimum and its stability is maximum. But if the atoms are brought closer to this distance, energies of system starts increasing and repulsive forces starts overweighting attractive forces, and a stable state converts to an unstable state. So before I move to the main postulates of valence bond theory, let me take this time to revise. Let me take this time to revise the concepts which has been taught up to this. In this module, I had told you that classical concept of covalent bond, which is also called as Lewis-Longmuir concept, although explains many things, still doesn't explains that why only certain permissible combinations are possible, why a H2 molecule is formed, why H3 is not formed. Then it doesn't tell us about the shape or geometries of covalent compounds, why energies are released. And in order to overcome these objections, two important theories has been proposed. One is called as valence bond theory and other is called as molecular orbital theory. Valence bond theory largely considers particle nature of electron, while molecular orbital theory largely considers wave nature of electron. And they try to explain most of the objections that are raised. Valence bond theory tells about the formation of covalent bond, and it says that when two combining atoms they comes closer to each other, there are attractive forces as well as there are repulsive forces which operates between them, and at an optimal distance net attractive forces overweights net repulsive forces and a molecule is formed. Now, in our next discussion, we will discuss about valence bond theory. Thank you.